Our CISO, better than your CISO, or we don't need no stinking CISO. I'm Ann Loricello, and I'm here with Ray and Mitch from Cybersecurity LLC. What is a CISO?
CISO is CISO, stands for Chief Information Security Officer. This will be the individual in the organization that is, I'm not going to say most responsible for cybersecurity because that would be the CEO, okay? But CISO, CISO, here is our CISO right here, Mitch Tannenbaum. Mitch, explain what a CISO does.
So I think there's a lot of misinformation about what a CISO is.
Okay.
A CISO is not somebody who's going off and configuring your servers or configuring your firewalls. The CISO, the role of the CISO is to provide strategic advice to the executive leadership team and to the board, if there's a board, with regard to strategically what the company needs to be doing to protect its intellectual property and protect the company's valuation. So that's really an important distinction. We're looking at a very strategic thing. In addition, the CISO is somebody who the CEO, the COO, and the board can bounce questions off of. You know, they hear something in the news and they say, well, tell me what that means for us. And there's nobody inside the organization. If you use us as a CISO, then we don't have a dog in the fight, which is an important thing too. We're an independent, unbiased organization. We see it a lot of times with clients that we do virtual CISO work for. And we'll talk about what that is in a minute, but the executives will come to us and say, well, you know, one of our IT folks said we need to do this and this, and I'm not sure we need to do it. Why do we need to do that? Or, you know, I heard about this story in the news last night. Are we safe from that? And we are independent. Now, for most companies, they don't need a full-time CISO. Now, you know, if you're a Home Depot, well, they definitely need a CISO. They had a problem a few years ago. But if you're a big company like that, you need a full-time person for sure. But if you're a small or medium-sized business, you might need 10 hours a month. And CISOs are in very high demand. They command a very high salary. So using a virtual CISO, a fractional CISO, is something that is extremely cost-effective. You get the expertise and advice of our team, but you only pay for what you use.
So is there a difference between a CISO and a vCISO?
Well, the V stands for virtual, right? It's a good question, as a matter of fact. And so, like Mitch says, most small companies don't need a full-time person, but they need somebody involved in the organization. We deal with very small companies, and we act as their Chief Information Security Officer, and they actually put it in their documents that we're their CISO, as it were. And some of them might need 3 hours a month, 4 hours a month, 5 hours a month. Sometimes they don't need any help in the course of a month because we're doing strategic things for them. We're helping them guide their entire program. But when they need help, they need to be able to pick up that phone, talk to that individual, in this case, talk to Mitch. Boom, I've got this problem, I got that, what should I do about it? Here you go, do this, and away we go.
So we've talked a little bit about the ROI and how important that is, but when small companies hear about CISO, is that something that you think maybe is over their head as far as something that they can afford, or is it just as crucial?
You're right, it would be over their head, and they would think that they couldn't afford it, but we're here to tell you that you can. That's the virtual CISO program. You might only need 2 hours a month. Okay, that's all you need, or maybe nothing, who knows, depending. But if you have a breach, if you have a problem, you're going to need some help, and you're going to need it fast. So, but you make arrangements with us. The way we typically work is we'll charge someone a block of hours, 10 hours in advance. You pay them, those hours last forever. Whenever you need it, you use it, and they never expire. That's a virtual CISO, that's a vCISO program.
The other thing is that a lot of times clients will say, well, who's the person in your organization that's responsible for security? You know, and if you don't have somebody like that, you know, you're stammering a lot, you don't have a good answer. It's much better to say, oh, well, we have a professional organization that does that for us, and they have, you know, decades of experience doing that. That's a much more powerful answer to give to one of your prospects, one of your customers, than to stammer and try to think, well, who didn't step back?
So it turns out you do need a stinking CISO, because if you don't, think about how much money you could use if there could be a breach. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And if you'd like more tips on this, go to their YouTube page or visit cybersecurities.com, and take note that securities is spelled with a C.